Hi, how are you? Welcome back. So, as you may have noticed, I also skipped a March reading wrap up because March was not it. Like I said in my January and February wrap up, this year has been tough in terms of reading. I haven't been picking up good books, I haven't been reading a lot, and it's just been a meh year in general. So I decided to put this little wrap up March and April together just to make it easier, and March sucked. I only read 3 books, one of which I really loved. I'll get to it. But yeah, March sucked. So April is my birth month. My birthday's in April, and I had just decided it's my birthday month. I am tired of reading bad books. I'm tired of not reading. I'm done with it. I'm just gonna read good books and I'm gonna like what I read. And guess what happened? I don't know how I did it. I think I read 10 books in April, and so many of them were good. I enjoyed so many of them, highly rated. So yeah, April really turned it around for me. I just decided to pick up books that were good, books that I would like the books that I was reading, and I'm really hoping to just keep the momentum going for the rest of the year. So it's very exciting. Let's get started with the wrap up. The first book that I finished was on the 4th of March, and that book was Stay Awake by Goldin. I gave this book a 3 stars. I really wanted to read this one for the longest time. I don't know why, something about it just really stuck out to me. I ended up giving this book a 3 star because it was just fine. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did, but it was super duper repetitive because the blurb basically is she keeps forgetting 2 years of her life every time she goes to sleep, and then she wakes up and it's just like rinse and repeat because she obviously does have to sleep, you know? And then the other reason why I didn't like it was the ending. Like, there were so many unanswered questions where you're just like, okay, but why? Why did any of this happen? Why did this person do this? Why did this person do this? How did that even happen? There's just so many unanswered questions, and it was just kind of like frustrating by the end of it. It wasn't necessarily a bad book. It definitely is not a book for me. It's not necessarily something I would go out of my way to recommend, but also if it's something that you're really interested in, like, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to read it. Maybe you'll like it. The next book that I read is the book that was my highlight for March, which wasn't too difficult to do, but that was Curse of the Wolf King by Tessonja Odette. I finished that on the 8th of March and I gave it 4 stars. So this is a part of the Entangled with Fae series, and this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and basically this whole series, each book is a different retelling but with fae. I really liked this one. I don't know why, but I kind of just like fell into it and I couldn't stop reading it. Like, I literally just picked it up and read the first chapter because I was like, what's this author's writing style like? Because I was given the whole series as a Christmas gift, so I just picked it up and I read chapter 1 and just kept going. I didn't even mean to pick it up. I really enjoy it. I haven't read any of the rest of the series yet, but I definitely do recommend this entire series purely based off of that one book. It's very fun. It stays true enough to the original to like get it, you know, but it's far enough from the original to be a completely new story. The character was really fun, and I really like Tessonja's writing style. It's very eloquent but very like easy to read. It's very easy to fall into, and in general just really fun. And honestly, all you need to know is that it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling with fae. Go for it. Read it. It's fun. The next book that I finished on the 19th of March is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, and I gave that 2.5 stars. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what I thought about this book because I do have a reading vlog coming out for the series, but in general what this is about is this book follows a girl named Surin. She is the queen of the Court of Teeth, and she made a tiny little appearance in the Cruel Prince series, and this essentially follows her and Oak, who is Jude's little brother. And then along with that, I also finished The Prisoner's Throne on the 1st of April, and I gave that 4 stars. And that one kind of just continues their journey. So basically what happens is Stolen Heir kind of ends off on a cliffhanger, and then the Prisoner's Throne we pick up like directly after and basically just like follow their journey. It's a very political fantasy. However, if you've read Holly Black, you know what her writing's like. It's very Cruel Prince coded. Obviously, it follows Jude's brother. So it's definitely a great book to pick up if you miss being in that world but you don't want to do a reread, and that's where I'm gonna leave that. Next, on the 2nd of April, I finished Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I gave that 4 stars. And essentially what this book is about, it's about a girl named Payton. She's an ordinary. She doesn't have any powers, and then the story really progresses when she is put into the trials, which is essentially the Hunger Games but for people with magical abilities, and the story kind of develops from there. Lauren Roberts is a debut author, so if you haven't read it at this point and you choose to after hearing me talk about it, definitely just go in knowing that she's a debut author. I also have a reading vlog coming out for this one, but I did judge her a little bit too harshly at first because of it. But overall, you know, just keep in mind that this is her first book and she's a young author, but I quite enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars and I would recommend it. Next, I finish The One, The Only Bride by Hazelwood, and I gave that 3.75, and I finished it on the 5th of April. Basically, what this book is about is the main character, Misery, is a vampire, and she enters, it's called a marriage of convenience, but really it's an arranged marriage to the alpha of the Western Wolf Pack named Lowe, and their marriage is essentially just a political strategy to keep the alliance between the humans, the wares, and the vampires up and safe so that there doesn't break out a war. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's a fun read. I don't know what Omegaverse is, but everyone says it's Omegaverse, so there's that information if you know what that is. It was fun. I liked it for the most part, so. Next, I finished on the 8th of April, Crave by Tracy Wolff, and I gave that 2 stars. And what this book is this girl's parents dies, so she goes to a boarding school in Alaska, but something's different there. This is Twilight on crack, so if you want that, enjoy. Please know that everybody is insufferable if you choose to pick this up. Next, I finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I gave this 4 stars, and I finished it on the 12th of April. This book, I listened to the audiobook because I have heard that this book was essentially written to be an audiobook, and whoever said that was correct. It is such a good audiobook. It is set up in such a way where there's multiple voice actors. It partially feels Netflix documentary, partially feels podcast, partially audio. It's such a good, fun book. And the actual plot of it is super interesting as well. I don't really know how to describe it. I kind of recommend just going in blind. That's what I did. But yeah, it was super duper fun. And by the end of it, you're just like, what just happened? What did I just read? But in like a good way. And the way it's written, you can kind of like, you can believe who you want. Like, you can choose who you want to believe, shall we say, and I know who I'm choosing. If you have read None of This Is True, please let me know in the comments who you believe, because, you know, great book. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Please listen to the audiobook. If you don't like audiobooks, just try it. Okay? Thank you. The next book that I finished on the 18th of April. I gave it 5 stars naturally because that book is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Love TJ Klune. Love his books. This hit me in the heart. I'm not going to read the back for you because I don't think the back is accurate of what the book is about. So what this book is what this book's about is Wallace Price passes away from a heart attack, and in death he learns to live. That is what this book is about. It follows the main character Wallace after he passes away and he's in the afterlife. That is what this book is about. It is so wonderful. TJ Klune does found family so well. He does romance subplots so well. It's such a good book, and I 10 out of 10 recommend. If TJ Klune's books sound boring to you, they did to me too. Just read them. Just read them. Okay? Thank you. The next book that I finished was just a short story book that I didn't give any ratings to. It's called Beasts and Beauty, Dangerous Fairy Tales by Soman Chainani. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And I finished it on the 22nd of April. Like I said, this is a short story collection, so I didn't rate it because if I wanted to rate it, I would have had to rate each story separately, and I wasn't about to do that, so no rating. I did enjoy it though. It was very fun. Each chapter is a different short story. My personal favorite was Peter Pan, and then I skipped the Bluebeard short story because I'd never heard about Bluebeard before, so I didn't particularly care for the retelling. In general, it wasn't the most interesting read necessarily. It was kind of just a great way to pass time. It's about 6 hours long, so it's just kind of fun if you need something in between. And the stories were pretty interesting. They follow the originals pretty closely, but then there's like 1 or 2 major plot twists. And in general, it was a fun time. Not something I would recommend, not something I wouldn't recommend. It's just, it's there if you want it type of thing. So yeah. Next, on the 24th of April, I finished Ward D by Freida McFadden, and I gave this 1 star. And basically what this book is about is we follow our main character whose name evades me, and she is a medical student and she is on rotation at a hospital, and this book takes place during her night shift in Ward D, which is the strictest psychiatric unit in the hospital. So I feel like if you watch my videos regularly at this point, you know how I feel about Freida McFadden. Most of her books I don't really like. There are a few that I absolutely love, but in general, regardless of how much I actually enjoy the story, I keep reading her because I get through them super quickly. They're page turners. The plot keeps me interested enough, and they're really good for when I just want something quick that I can binge, and something that needs to like get me back in a reading mood, and something that just like gets me going. So I picked this one up because I was waiting for Funny Story to come out. I was like, I need a book that I can read in like 2-3 days while I wait for Funny Story to come out because I don't want to read anything. So I picked this one up. And the problem that I have with this one, which is why I gave it 1 star, is normally, even if I don't like a Freida McFadden book, the plot is interesting enough to keep me going. This one wasn't. This one really wasn't. It was boring. Nothing happened until the end, and everyone was annoying. This one is worth skipping, in my opinion. So next, I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and I finished that on the 29th of April, and I gave it 3 stars. So basically, I don't really know how to explain this book. So Storygraph has a powered by AI little summary of what the book is about, so I'm just gonna read that to you real quick. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller is a captivating tale that will resonate with readers who appreciate beautifully crafted historical fiction, are drawn to stories of forbidden love and self-discovery, and are fascinated by the rich world of Greek mythology, making a perfect fit for fans of literary fiction and LGBTQ+ literature. And it's essentially, I'm pretty sure, a reimagining of Homer's The Iliad. It's a pretty interesting book. I can definitely understand why people love it. I didn't resonate with it as much as I would have hoped to, but it's definitely beautifully written, and if it's something that seems up your alley, it's definitely something I would still recommend. On the 30th of April, I finished Funny Story by Emily Henry, and I gave it 5 stars because why wouldn't I? And if you don't know what this book is about, it's essentially about Daphne, and she enters a fake dating relationship with her roommate to make her ex-fiance jealous. Not jealous to get him back, just jealous in general, because Daphne's ex-fiance dumped her to get engaged to Miles, the male love interest's ex-girlfriend. So Petra, Miles' ex, dumped him. Peter, Daphne's ex, dumped her so they can get together, so they pretend to be together to make them jealous. Does that make sense? I hope so, because I can't explain it for sure. But it was very fun. I really enjoyed it. Love Emily Henry. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Honestly, if Emily Henry writes it, do you even need to know what it's about? Just pick it up. We know it's gonna be good. So that was every book that I read in March and April. As you can see, I said, I'm gonna read books that I like and I'm gonna read good books in April and keep it going, and I definitely did that. So, very exciting. Love that I ended the month off with Emily Henry. Makes me so happy. Girl, love you. She's definitely not watching this, but love you. Like I asked earlier, let me know who you believe in None of This Is True. Please put a spoiler warning just in case, but let me know what you thought of None of This Is True. I need to know. No one I know has read it, and I need to know. I'm trying to force my boyfriend to read it, but he's being annoying and he won't. He said he will, but he hasn't yet. So I need someone to talk to about this. So please, someone talk to me about it. If you like me or my videos, I would really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.